Hello, I'm Chef Leanne. I live and work in the fabulous Florida Keys. We're still all about the pink. I grew up here in Marathon. I lived on a canal that had a high seawall, and it was right on the Gulf of Mexico. My grandmother lived with us, and I grew up learning her recipes. So today we're going to be doing two of her favorites. We're going to do a Neapolitan style stuffed artichoke, and then I'm also going to be doing shrimp scampi. Before I do the two dishes though, I want to go ahead and make a gremolade because I'm going to be using that for both of those applications. It's a very simple, easy recipe. I'm going to melt some butter and oil in this pan. A little bit of garlic and some chili pepper. Chili pepper is optional. You don't have to add it if you don't want the heat. And then some breadcrumbs. I grew up on artichokes as a kid. Everybody else was getting bags of candy. I was getting whole artichokes. My mother would tell us that when we got to the middle of the artichoke, not to eat it because it was bad or it was poison or it would kill us. But I learned later as an adult, she was just keeping it for herself because that's the best part of the choke. All right, so we've got the gremolade heating up here. And next we're gonna move on to the artichoke. Artichoke is not a very common thing for most people, but like I said, I grew up on them, so for me, it's like eating candy. So it's a little intimidating. I cut the bottom off. I'm gonna cut the top. And then you take a scissor and then you just cut the rest of the tips off of the artichoke because they can be pretty pointy. It's like a sharp fingernail on there. All right, so now that we're done doing that, I'm gonna give it a nice good smack on the counter to open up the choke. And that loosens all the leaves. I'm gonna take some lemon and put some lemon on it. The lemon is gonna keep it from turning brown. And this is a really important step because believe me, if you don't do this right away, it's gonna start turning brown. Just give it a good rub. Now that that's done, I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna cut the inside of the choke out. And we used to do this when we were kids. We knew all about it, but still, somehow or another, my mom always wound up with the choke. And you can tell which ones they are because it's the purple leaves in the center. Take those out. And you could feel there's almost like a prickly, hairy kind of a texture in the center of it. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and boil it. To boil the choke, to give it some wonderful flavor, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of butter in the bottom of the pan, some shallots, I'm adding some white wine. I'm gonna let that reduce a little bit. All right, so my, looks like my wine reduced halfway. I'm gonna go ahead and add some chicken broth. And then I'm gonna put this lovely artichoke in it. And then somewhere around maybe 20-30 minutes, I'm gonna put a little bit of that gremolade on the top. So we will let it cook now for about 45 minutes. Okay, so the artichoke cooked for 45 minutes, and about 20 minutes into it, I put the breadcrumbs on the top of it. It's very easy. You just take a little bit, sprinkle it. You want to make sure that you get down inside the leaves of the artichoke. A little bit of Parmesan cheese just to add some more flavor to this. Turn this off, and then we're just going to go ahead and do the plating. That up like that. Sprinkle a little bit of the broth. Parmesan cheese. All right, so there you have a stuffed Neapolitan style artichoke, and it's stuffed with a gremolade. So for those of you who don't know how to eat an artichoke, it's really quite simple. You just want to pull one of the leaves off, and that's how you can tell that an artichoke is done. The leaf literally just comes right off of the choke, and it's got all that really great breadcrumbs and the garlic and the cheeses in there. You want to take it so that the curled side is towards you. When you work your way through all of the leaves, you want to eat all of them, and then you get to the gem that's right in the middle, and that's the heart of the artichoke. And you just want to break it off like that. And it's like getting the center of the Tootsie Pop. That's the heart of the choke. All right, so the next dish that we're going to be doing is the Key West pink scampi. And of course, this is another one of my grandmother's favorite recipes, but she never called it scampi. She called it shrimp alla olla, and I'll show you the reason why she used to call that. So, of course, I'm still using the Key West pink shrimp. I'm going to start with a little bit of olive oil and some garlic. Alla olla. And that's really all that shrimp scampi is. Now I'm going to do a little bit of my spin to it. I'm going to add some chili pepper. And I'm going to saute the shrimp. So scampi from Italy is a shellfish, and it's called scampi, and that's where the scampi comes from. I believe it is, again, off the Mediterranean coast of Italy. All right, we're gonna let those saute just for a little bit. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. I love using the coarse salt. And if you have some fresh ground pepper, that's always a bonus. Heat up on that a little bit. All right, so we're just gonna let these guys saute just for a couple of minutes. Shrimp, again, because it's a Key West pink shrimp, you don't want to overcook it. A minute on each side. It's so beautiful and it's so sweet and it's so delicate. I think that's probably one of my pet peeves when I go out to eat, that the seafood, particularly the shrimp, is overcooked. All right, I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to go ahead and just continue making the sauce for the scampi. These look beautiful. Okay, now that these guys are out, I'm going to add a little bit of white wine. I drained the pasta earlier. I did just a regular pasta. I reserved some of the pasta juices, the liquid that I cooked the pasta in. All right, I want to get that temperature up a little bit. Get that boiling. And then I'm just going to let this reduce, and then I'm going to go ahead and, well, it's boiling, so we can keep going. And then I'm just going to slowly add some very cold butter. You can use salted or unsalted, it really doesn't matter. I guess the only difference would be at the end of it, if you're going to add salt, you probably would want to use unsalted butter. And like I said, this would not be your traditional Scampi sauce. This is my version of it. Because I go to people's homes and I cook for them, this is one of the menus that is frequently picked. And it's fun to showcase because I like showcasing the Key West pink shrimp. And there's a wow factor when it gets put on the table, which hopefully you'll get that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add my cooked pasta to it. Let it cook down a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. And then some fresh parsley. Give this a good toss. Let the flavors of that sauce get into your pasta. Add the shrimp back into it. All right, all we have to do now is do the plating. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of wine. All right, so now that my scampi is done, I got myself a glass of some really good Pinot Grigio. I'm gonna show you how to plate this meal. All right, so I'm gonna take the shrimp out first. If I can do this delicately. I wanted to finish cooking it in the sauce so that it picked up all that flavoring while it was reducing. All right. If you happen to have one of these cool little devices, they're awesome. So you just stick it in your pasta and you give it a nice twirl. Like this. Beautiful. All right. Then I'm going to put my shrimp. All right. Now I'm going to use a little bit of that gremolade that we had made from the earlier dish. I'm going to sprinkle that on there. Now, in Italy, you would never see cheese served with a seafood dish. So that's why you should never put cheese on scampi. I'm going to top this off with a little bit of fresh parsley. All right, that is done. And it looks beautiful, it smells fantastic, with a glass of Pinot Grigio. Chin chin.
Hi, I'm Joe Grego with Island Breeze Vacations. Island Breeze manages vacation rental properties in Marathon, Key Colony Beach, and Grassy Key. We have everything from modest condominiums to luxury vacation rentals with views like this. We are locally owned and operated, and we want you to experience the Florida Keys like the locals do. To book your vacation today, call Island Breeze.